Hey everyone, welcome back to another video with me. Before we get into this video about my comprehensible input update, I just wanted to let everyone know I am offering classes now to help people with their conversational skills in English, I guess you could say. I'm not an expert, don't have any degrees in this sort of field at all, so it would just be conversational practice. I know I've heard from a few people who've left a comment saying they watch my videos for their own comprehensible input to learn English, which is really great. And that sort of sparked the idea of like, well, if you want to have a chat with me for 30, 60 or 90 minutes, you'll now be able to do that. I've got a link in the description. You can just click that link and go through the prompts and book a time in with me if you'd like. So yeah, just thought I'd offer that out. I've tried to make the prices pretty reasonable and I've tried to make the times available as best as I can. I am working full time and I've got other things in my life as everyone does, but yeah, it's there if anyone wants to have a chat with me, and I don't know, maybe I can teach you some Australian slang and just practice your English on a conversational level. I won't be teaching you anything crazy, but yeah, it's there if you want it. So getting on with the video now. I know you've probably seen the thumbnail and you've seen I've put 1,500 hours there in the thumbnail, and I think that's somewhat correct. As many of you would know, I haven't been counting my hours for a long time now, so I'm not exactly sure where I am, but an estimated guess I think would be around 1,500 hours. But I think it depends a lot on how much you're concentrating during these hours, and a few other factors as well. That sort of all, they're all factors that influence how good those quality of hours are. But look, if I had to take a stab, I think I'd be around 1,500 hours now. But yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I want to be as open and honest with everyone as possible. So yeah, I think it's around 1,500 hours, give or take. So recently, after conducting a few interviews on this channel that I hope everyone's enjoyed, with other people that have been using the comprehensible input method and dreaming Spanish a bit as well, that sort of inspired me to change up my plan a bit with what I'm doing with my comprehensible input. So I'll still be doing my 1 hour per day where I sit down, my phone's away, and I'm watching Spanish. I think that will sort of stay the same for the extended future, because I think that's such a good staple to build off. But yes, the big change that I've sort of recently made is that I've sort of ditched all the English content that I used to watch, and I've just made the decision to only consume Spanish content. Well, pretty much 100% Spanish content. I'll watch the odd video on YouTube when I'm really looking for something niche. For instance, there was a few editing things I was looking up how to do, and it was just easier using the English version because there's less sort of videos like that in Spanish. But day to day, for anything entertainment wise, I'm consuming it in Spanish now. So that sort of changed a little bit, and I've tried this in the past. However, I've just been burnt out, and it sort of didn't set me back, but after 1 or 2 weeks, I've had to stop. But it does feel a little bit different this time, just because I can enjoy so much more content. And yeah, it's just been a lot easier and a lot better experience having this method of only consuming Spanish content when possible. And just another thing on this, as I said, I'm enjoying it so much, I sort of forget I'm listening or watching stuff in Spanish now, because I understand so much. It's relaxing. I don't really find it strenuous on my brain at all to put on a podcast that's in Spanish. Obviously, it does vary how much you're concentrating. Like if I'm in the car, for instance, listening to a podcast, I'm not going to understand as much as if I'm doing that during my 1 hour of concentrated input where I'm watching something on my computer on the TV. So it does depend on that, but I can just enjoy the language now for what it is. I can put on a movie in the language and understand it enough to get by where I'm entertained. A lot of things on YouTube, I can just enjoy. So yeah, I've really been enjoying it, and there's been a few other steps I've taken as well to make sure this has been doable for myself this time around. So one of the big changes I've made to make it sort of a realistic goal of mine to only consume Spanish input is I've deleted Spotify and sort of any music application off my phone. So over the last 2-3 weeks, I haven't been listening to any music by myself really. So this has sort of made me get in the habit of always putting in a podcast in Spanish into my ears. I used to listen to a fair bit of music, and it's enjoyable, like I'm not going to lie, everyone enjoys listening to music, but it wasn't really serving me any purpose. I could have been listening to Spanish in that time and getting my input hours up. So that's in the car, you know, if I'm making breakfast or making lunch or just doing stuff around the house by myself, I'll just put in a Spanish podcast. So yeah, that's been a big hack of mine, and just having that resistance where I'm not tempted to click on the Spotify app when I want to listen to some music in the gym. It has to be a Spanish podcast. So I've just got the YouTube app. I've got YouTube Premium, so I can just put on a podcast and still have my phone in sleep mode and just continue to listen or watch the podcast. So yeah, probably some people think it's a bit extreme, but I think this is sort of the length you have to take to learn a language without being in the country exactly in sort of a time period that's not ridiculous, because I do want to become fluent as sort of quick as I can, and I'm at the age where I don't have too many commitments. I really can sort of dial in on a hobby such as learning Spanish and dedicate a lot of time and get really good at it. So that's definitely helped, not having that Spotify app on my phone. It sort of removes the temptation. So I'll keep doing that, and that's been really good. And honestly, I'm just used to it now. It's not a drain putting on a podcast at all. So yeah, I'm just used to it. And just on this topic of me being able to get a lot more hours in than usual, another good way that I've been able to do that is incorporate sport and watching sport into sort of my comprehensible input time during the day. There is a soccer tournament on at the moment called the Euros, which is it's a competition between European national teams in soccer, and it's been great for me to watch highlights of that. All the games are usually when I'm asleep, so I can only watch the highlights, but it's been great to wake up in the morning and watch the highlights in Spanish. Spain's competing in the tournament, and obviously Spain's a big soccer country, so there's a lot of highlights and talk shows in Spanish. And the commentary is quite hard to understand at times, because if you're someone that watches sports, you'd know the commentary, it's very quick. Which makes it difficult, but I've kind of noticed I've been getting used to the terms they say and the words they say. So that's been great sort of input time, and I think it's been really good because I have a few friends that follow the competition as well, and I've sort of been able to talk to them about it still, and who's performing well and this and that, and what countries have been doing well, which is sort of a breath of fresh air, because with other Spanish content I watch, I've got no one to talk about it to, essentially, because none of my friends are watching the Spanish content, which is completely fair because they don't speak Spanish or aren't learning it or anything like that. But it is nice to sort of talk about something that I'm watching in Spanish with friends, because I usually don't get the chance to do that, and I don't watch really any English content. So if there's sort of, I don't know, a YouTube video in English or a TV series that doesn't have the dubbing in Spanish, I wouldn't really be watching it. So yeah, that's a nice little touch to sort of adding sport into my input time. So really been enjoying that, and yeah, I'll keep doing that. I actually thought of the other day, maybe I'll get into La Liga and start watching the Spanish sort of soccer league when they get back into that next season, because that's, yeah, a good way to follow it and get my input time in if something I'm interested in. So that could be an idea. So overall, in terms of changing my method slightly of just watching Spanish content day to day, I think it's really helped a lot in terms of my comprehension. There's not many native things that I wouldn't understand at all. Sure, there's the odd sentence that still pops up that I don't understand, but there's not really much native content I don't think I could be entertained by and enjoy. Like, I understand that much of it, that I can always be entertained if it's something I'm interested in, of course. Which is, as I was saying, this is probably the reason why I think I can stick with it this time long term, and not trying to pretty much watch zero English content when I'm by myself. So yeah, I've noticed my comprehension go up a lot, and I think this just comes from the hours, because I'm still driving my car a fair bit. I have sports training that's 30 minutes away, play games on the weekend that's 30 minutes away. So that's probably like 3 hours a week of driving, of input. And then even while I work from home. So sometimes if it's a quiet day, I can have a podcast going in the background. And obviously that type of input, it's not the best because I'm doing something else. I'm not dialed into it, but I think it still definitely helps. So some days I'm probably getting 5 hours, 6 hours of input in, which I think that's helped so much, and it just kind of feels a part of me now. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the content, and it's not really a drain for me to watch anything in Spanish, really. So yeah, I've been enjoying it, and I think this will sort of keep going for the extended future. So on to speaking now. Still haven't done much speaking at all. I know I've been posting a few iTalki lessons here and there, but no, I haven't really done much at all. I don't know why, I just sort of haven't gotten around to it. I've just been enjoying consuming the content I have been consuming. But I think I'm getting to the point when I'm ready to really sort of dial in on the speaking. I think I've had a thought about it. I've had a think about it, sorry, and I think how I'll go about it is just start off trying to do 2-3 hours a day of speaking. So just to get myself used to it as quick as possible. And then I might have some bigger days in there as well on a weekend maybe where I can really do a fair bit. But yeah, I really feel like it's coming together, and I feel like this speaking aspect, it's sort of the last. Like, I'm not there yet with understanding everything. I know I've still got more to understand, but I think this speaking sort of the last hurdle I need to overcome, and it's still going to take a lot of time. I don't know how many hours of speaking I'll need. Obviously, as I said, I still need a lot more input, but yeah, I think, I don't know, my gut saying once I get, I don't know, say I get 200, 300 hours of speaking, I'll start to feel pretty comfortable. So yeah, I'll keep going with that. And for reading, it's sort of the same situation. Haven't really done much at all, to be honest. Will I do more in the future? Maybe, but not a priority. I don't really read much in English. Wouldn't say it's something I love to do, but yeah, I'll get around to it, I'm sure. So there's no rush with that. And finally as well, I just wanted to say how great it is to sort of see all the other people producing content about their own comprehensible input and dreaming Spanish journey. I think it's great I love watching them, and I think it's great for other people to see who are just starting out. So yeah, just encourage everyone, keep on going, keep posting stuff, because it's it's great to watch, and I think it's good for the community. But yeah, thanks for watching.